Letters of guardianship for a developmental disabled individual. Hi, I'm Darren Findling of the Probate Pro, and we're going to examine PC Form 662, SCAO for State Court Administrative Office, PC for Probate Court. You're welcome to contact my office. We'd be happy to give this form to you free of charge. Now, a letter of guardianship for a developmental disabled person is different than a letter of guardianship for an adult or for a minor. There are actually two different codes or acts that are in play. Under the probate code, you've got guardianship for an adult and guardianship for a minor. Those are explained in other videos that I've put together. They're different forms, different processes. For the mental health division, this deals with people who are defined under the statute as a developmentally disabled person. Now again, very particular term for very particular circumstances. So understanding which process you're going through, the probate process or the mental health process, is really critical. And that's why we urge you to work with a skilled, competent probate lawyer, because it's very frustrating to be going down, for example, the probate process only to learn when you get to your court hearing that the court says, sorry, this isn't a probate issue, it's under the mental health code, and it's a guardianship for a developmental disabled person. The terms are the same, guardianship under the probate code and guardianship under the mental health code, but they serve different purposes. So really be careful. With all of these forms, these SCAO forms, they are created by statutes and court rules. And here you can see the court rules with the hovering arrow, MCR 5.202 and MCR 5.402. But it covers the general mental health code that you should familiarize yourself with, because this would be the issuance of the letters after a petition for guardianship for a developmentally disabled person has been filed with the court and heard by the court, and then an order gets entered, and then the court issues these letters. Now, it's kind of a funny term, letters. In essence, it's a summary of what the court has ordered, because the court order itself could, of course, be taken to various institutions for presentment. But historically, there's this concept of using letters of authority, letters of guardianship, and so on. So these are the letters, and it usually has a seal from the court. So when you go to a financial institution, a medical provider, whatever it may be, you can present the letters and show proof of your appointment. So let's now walk our way through this particular form. At top left corner is the county in which the guardianship sits, and the top right corner is the case number. As you can see from the top, it's pretty intuitive here. In the matter of is the name of the person that is the subject of the guardianship for that is a developmentally disabled individual. Their name, and it indicates that they're an individual with a developmental disability. Think of that word, developmental. It's a disability through the development. And again, we're not going to go through the definition here, but that's for another explanation and another video. It indicates to whom those letters are issued. So in this particular case, it would be the guardian who has been appointed here, and their phone number. Again, it's a little odd that it says the word to with the colon there, but it is the guardian whose name and address are reflected there. As we move further down the letters, you'll see that there's been an appointment and you've qualified as either a partial guardian or a plenary guardian. Now again, these are defined terms, but in general sense, partial is not full. Plenary is full and encompassing. But again, there are variations of your authority and restrictions of your full authority. Then it says of the, and there's two checkboxes, estate and person. Think of it like this. The estate generally relates to financial and legal decisions, and the person generally relates to the care and well-being of that individual. Now, you can have one authority or the other, or you can, of course, have both authorities. So here, this is after the court has made that determination, those little checkboxes get checked. And then it says you're granted authority to perform all acts permitted or required by statute, court rules, and order of this court. So again, understanding the full body of your responsibilities is really an understanding of the court rules and statutes that make up the developmental disability code, or that provision within the mental health code. Then there's a checkbox for any limitations. So if the court has limited powers, and often they do, for example, limited powers relating to placement, limited powers for movement of the individual, maybe out of state or from facility to facility, and so on. Those limitations can be reflected there. And then there's an expiration date. And with these guardianship letters, they can be renewed through a process. But here you're reflecting the guardianship expiration date, and then of course the reporting requirements that follow thereafter. So to continue those letters of guardianship from the expiration date on, there's an entire process that is provided by statute. Here the court signs it, and then if there's an attorney, the attorney's name and information is there. And then of course, this is what we call like the certified copy or the seal from the deputy probate registrar or clerk. There's a space so that you can show this to financial institutions and medical providers to show that you have a sealed version of this letters. It creates greater reliance of its legitimacy and authority. Again, this letters of guardianship would follow a petition that has been filed with the Mental Health Division of the Probate Court. There'd be a service of that petition. There'd be notice of hearing, a hearing itself, court enters an order, and then ultimately the letters of guardianship are issued. So that's a general timeline. This is really the beginning of this procedure and process that can go on for many, many, many years. So understanding all the nuances is really critical to your performance as guardian. At the Probate Pro, we're passionate about everything probate. If you have questions about this particular form or any probate, trust, or guardian or conservatorship related issue, visit us at theprobatepro.com or call us at 1-833-PROBATE.